Nintendo Switch 2, or whatever it's going to be called, is pretty much guaranteed to be announced sometime this year, 2024, and maybe, just maybe, released in 2024. I have a slight prediction. This might make you a little mad. I think it's going to release in early 2025, maybe March. But I would love to be wrong, because obviously you want to release a new console around the holidays. That's when sales just start to pop off. But who knows? Nobody knows except for Nintendo. And well, that's exactly what today's video is all about. So I just want to speculate on the Nintendo Switch 2. I am a big time gamer. That's no secret. I'm sitting in a room quite literally dedicated to nothing but gaming and streaming my games. And guys, fun fact for you, I actually bought this house because of this room. Okay, this room was one of the primary reasons I bought this house, but as soon as I saw this listing online and I saw this room, I was like, you know what? That's going to be the perfect gaming room for me. And I've been in here for what, like 4 or 5 years now, and I'm still incredibly happy with it. Anyway, needless to say, I spend a lot of time in here because I'm a big time gamer, always have been, always will be. I've been a gamer since the beginning. Well, at least the rebirth of gaming in the 80s. Okay, but anyway, guys, let's sit down and talk about the Nintendo Switch 2. First of all, let's reflect on the original Nintendo Switch. It released on March 3rd, 2017. And as of this recording, it's January 8th, 2024. So we are long overdue for something new from Nintendo. And guys, let's be honest here. Even from day one, the Switch was never ever about giving you the most powerful, high fidelity type of gaming experience. Nintendo just isn't like that these days. And honestly, that trend kind of started with the Wii, where they favored gameplay and the fun motion aspect over graphics and hardware capabilities and all that stuff. And I'm saying the Wii because I know people are going to be like, well, David, Nintendo's never been about graphics. That's not true. That's not true. Nintendo 64 was all about pushing the envelope, guys. And same thing goes for the GameCube. The GameCube, visually speaking, was beautiful. And I hate to say it, I think some GameCube games might actually look better than some Wii games. Anyway, getting back on track, let's talk about the Switch 2, the rumors, and my reactions to these rumors and whether or not I think they're going to be true or false. So let's first of all talk about the fact that the Switch 2, and I know it's probably not going to be called the Switch 2, or will it? As far as I'm concerned, Nintendo is not a fan of using the number 2 in their branding of consoles. But I'm just going to say this, guys. What if they actually mix things up for once and call it the Switch 2? That way, original Switch owners know what they're getting. It's the second version of the Switch. Unlike with the Wii U, a lot of people thought the Wii U was an add-on to the original Wii. And honestly, I can't blame them, especially all the parents out there who are not into gaming. You kind of see the Wii U and you think, oh, well, this might be for the Wii. But the Switch 2, PlayStation 2, Xbox One. Yeah, we're going to ignore that for a little bit. Anytime you put a higher number on a product, it is immediately recognizable as the newer product, the better product, but a different product. So maybe, just maybe, it will be called the Switch 2. I'm not against that. Okay, so getting back on track with the actual rumors, what if the Nintendo Switch 2 is another hybrid console just like the original Switch? And by what if, I mean, duh. Of course it's going to be a hybrid. For Nintendo to go back to a traditional home console would be a huge step backwards for them. Well, because they are quite literally alienating all those people who want to be on the go, portable, people who are not me. And I say that for a reason, because my Nintendo Switch very rarely leaves this house. However, I love the fact that I have 2 Switch docks, meaning I can dock this on my streaming PC and play games up here on my live streams on Kick and YouTube, but also, Gizmo's here, but also I can play my Switch downstairs simply by taking it with me and just smacking it into the dock, and boom, just like that, I have my Switch experience downstairs in my living room. And guys, I love that. I love that so much. Sure, it's not the most powerful console in the world, but the convenience, in my opinion, easily outweighs the out-of-date graphics and hardware. So yes, it's pretty much guaranteed it's going to be another hybrid console, and plus, let's not forget, the Nintendo 3DS is pretty much no longer a thing. The eShop is officially closed. They're no longer selling the 3DS. So to have a console and portable hybrid again, it just makes perfect sense. There's absolutely no reason why it will not be a hybrid. Let's talk costs. Now, rumors, based on what I'm reading, are saying it's going to be around $400. And if my memory serves me correctly, the Switch was what, $300 or $350, something like that. $400, in my opinion, is a good, sweet middle spot. It's cheaper than the most expensive consoles, but it's more expensive than something like the Xbox Series S. But me personally, I predict it's going to be $329 or $349. Mark those words. Now, some sites are saying that the Switch 2 will have a physical version and a digital-only version, much like the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series S and X currently offer. Now, me personally, I still prefer physical games for things like the PlayStation 5 because games are just cheaper and easier to find on sites like eBay at discounted prices. But at the same time, I also really enjoy the convenience of Xbox Game Pass on my Xbox Series S and my Xbox Series X. Guys, I have yet to insert a disc into my Series X because Game Pass is just that good. I've gotten Starfield through Game Pass, which is okay. I've gotten Halo Infinite through Game Pass, which I absolutely love, on top of so many other games available on Game Pass. Game Pass is an absolute game changer for me, and I would love to see something similar from Nintendo. Anyway, me personally, I don't think we're going to see two different versions of the Switch 2 at launch. I think we're going to get something like this. It accepts the game cards, but if you want to download your games, then you can do that as well. I really don't see them splitting it up, at least not right now. And speaking of that, let's talk about specs, because I want to mention something real quick. Rumors are also saying that an OLED Switch 2 could be released at launch. This I'm not sure about, honestly. The OLED Switch is clearly a big hit. People love it. It's beautiful. But for people like myself who primarily game in front of a TV or a monitor, it's not a big deal at all. It honestly is not a selling point for me one bit. But that's just me. I don't game portably. So maybe they actually will have two versions, one LCD and one OLED. I don't know. But it would be kind of nice if they just released one product with OLED. So maybe for those rare times I do game portably, then yeah, I get the benefits of OLED and richer blacks. Okay, so get this. Another website I was reading actually said 120 hertz is on their wish list. That's funny. That's funny. Nintendo, I love you. But the fact that we're still getting most games locked in at 30 frames per second on the Switch in 2023, moving into 2024, it's laughable. I'm sorry. I love Nintendo as a company. I love what they're doing with the hybrid approach. I love their games. But 120 hertz, sorry, not going to happen. Mark my words on that. I would be absolutely shocked if we actually got a 120 hertz capable Switch in 2024. Maybe a few years from now, sure, but honestly, I don't see that ever happening. 512 gigabytes of onboard storage is another rumor. This I absolutely do see being a reality because the Switch in 2017 launched with what? 32 gigabytes of onboard storage, and yeah, you can put a micro SD card in here, not a big deal, but I don't want to have to do that. I love the idea of having more onboard storage from day one. So moving from 32 gigabytes all the way to 512 gigabytes at the starting range, I think that's great. Maybe 1 terabyte. Nintendo doesn't seem like a 1 terabyte kind of company to me. I mean, if anything, we might get 256 gigs on the Switch 2. I'm not sure, but anything is better than 32 and 64 at this point. And by 64, of course, I mean, I believe the OLED model has 64 gigabytes of onboard storage. Okay, so let's talk about graphics. And of course, I gotta say this. Graphics don't make a game. Like, I am perfectly fine playing a just beautiful, in its own way, fun game like Animal Crossing. That game could keep me busy for literally hours on end. I don't play Animal Crossing for the graphics. I don't play Super Mario Wonder for the graphics, I just play it because they're Nintendo games. They're first-party titles that typically deliver a 100% awesome experience from day one. When a game is ready for launch, they release it, meaning that they don't release a game and then update it over the next 6 months. Cyberpunk, I'm looking at you. Starfield, I'm looking at you as well. Not cool. Not cool. That's just embarrassing in my opinion. Anyway, graphics are great, But with that said, expect performance that you would see from the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One on the Switch 2. So in other words, don't expect Xbox Series S or X type gameplay. Don't expect PlayStation 5 type graphics. It's just not realistic on something that's rumored to be another hybrid, because obviously they need to favor battery life and all that stuff. But it is what it is. I mean, we don't buy Nintendo consoles for the graphics. We buy them for the games and the gameplay and nostalgia and the music and all that stuff. Okay, I'm just being realistic with you. However, with that said, it would not be the worst thing if I saw a non-hybrid version of the Switch 2, and that in itself deserves its own video. So should I talk about that? Let me know right below. Detachable controllers are pretty much guaranteed to make a return. I mean, that's what makes the Switch so great. You can switch out the accessories. And of course, that alone is a huge market for both the Nintendo and third-party manufacturers. Well, because if you look at this is just the day one Switch. I mean, I never really changed out the Joy-Con because I can't say it enough. I don't game portably enough to make me want to buy Joy-Con for, what is it, 60 or 80 bucks. But a lot of people do, and that is a big deal. So yes, definitely expect detachable controllers once again. Backwards compatibility is another must-have. If this doesn't happen, I will be absolutely shocked. The Switch 2 will absolutely play all Switch games. I mean, it kind of has to, especially with it being a hybrid console. And finally, this one will wrap up the video nicely, but it'll kind of make you mad in a way. And it makes me a little angry, not gonna lie. Nintendo Switch 2 will be a safe release, meaning I personally don't expect anything truly revolutionary from it. I don't expect it to change the game again, because they don't need to change the game again. The Switch does so many things so freaking well. Now it's just going to do those things even better. Maybe overall better build quality, maybe a redesigned home screen, because we've gone, what, like 6 or 7 years and we still cannot customize our home screen with themes. Why, Nintendo? Why? As of right now, it's just a dark background or a light background, which blows my mind because there's some easy money there. Seriously, Nintendo, you could easily charge like $5 or $10 for a single theme. Take my advice. Start doing that. Anyway, guys, what do you think of the Nintendo Switch 2? Is it something that interests you? Because I gotta say, it interests me very, very much. And I can just imagine the Switch 2 pushing out some beautifully awesome games, like perhaps another game like Super Mario Odyssey, maybe finally a new Mario Kart. We are long overdue for a new Mario Kart game, or maybe something as big as a Pokemon game at launch. Guys, the Switch 2 is pretty much guaranteed to be a huge success at launch, as long as they don't make the same mistake they did when they went from the Wii to the Wii U. But I think we're past those days. Let's hope. Anyway, guys, what do you think? Thank you so much for watching. And again, if you want to see a video of myself talking about a home only, like a home console only version of the Switch 2, in other words, my unrealistic expectations of the Switch 2, let me know right below and I'll make that video shortly. I promise. Thank you guys so much. Have a great day and I'll talk to you soon. Happy gaming.